Hey, 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 hey. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. All right. So, let's get started. Lots of stuff. Apple, jobs reports, unemployment, tons of stuff coming out today. Apple's yesterday, tons more earnings. We're kind of coming to the end of the week where 75% of S&P 500 companies will have reported earnings. And that means we still have about 25%. But the biggest company in the land, Apple, reporting last night, kind of beating expectations, but soft on guidance. We'll look at it. We'll look at the chart. We'll look at the reaction and see what's cooking. So, I have a couple things I brought with me that we can talk about and look at and see. And let me see. I need to refresh the page and pop this up. So, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I may be full of malarkey. This presentation here is intended to be informational, educational, and fun. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor who has a fiduciary duty to take care of you and give you advice based on your financial situation. Hey, morning, Al. Morning, morning, morning. Morning, John. So, what we have, I keep saying so. That's like a 2-day streak. So. April payrolls smash expectations after a huge downward revision. Our black unemployment hits record lows. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it's a 3 sigma beat. That means 3 standard deviations. 3 standard deviation beat on the non-farm payrolls. Big revisions down. Kind of crazy. And this is where is everybody? Why are there so many jobs open? Here's the problem. We had labor force participation up here. COVID, we went down here. And still, to this day, we are here. Now, this is out of the whatever working age population. We were up here at 63.5%. Almost, we dropped down to about 60%, and now we're still hovering right around 60%. That's where the millions of people are. That and people that were on SNAP benefits. We just don't have the participation. That there's a large chunk of the population just not participating. Now, as I stated in March, as those SNAP benefits come off, I do expect this to creep right back on up. Those missing people to come back in. That the bigger economy of more demand for jobs we may still be short on people working, but yeah, retired age people aren't participation people. So that was people quitting, and we're coming back up to a level where those people can participate again, and they have to participate. You're talking about working age people in this participation, not people that have passed their retirement age. You had people retiring earlier, but they're dropping off as we come back up. So, yeah. Keep saying so. Morning, Jim. Morning, Al. Morning, Patrick, Dan, John. Morning, everybody. So, what we have... there it is again. So. I keep saying so. Just can't get it off my tongue. NQ, this is NASDAQ, has a beautiful... This is an hourly chart. Beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to a high with a 1, 2, 3 retrace right down into the 618, right there at 1317-ish, and moving up, showing some positive signs. Probably going to get an extension. We can look at the actual chart, a live chart here in just a second, but this was a pattern that jumped out at me very clearly on this particular view I have. S&P 500. Yeah, just kind of holding the roadmap line on the 3-day chart here. Sideways for forever, it feels like now. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 candles sideways. So we're looking at like 36 trading days sideways. Ugh. No wonder it feels like sideways, right? We are holding the low that we did right back here. Holding that can lead to a pop out, breakout, and a quick acceleration to this wave 3 target up here around 4,500. I do expect some kind of reaction at 4,300 where we topped out back in August, which is just off the left over here. You can't see it. It's over there. Is that the right way? Over there. That way. Nope. That way. That way. I'm reversed. Over there. All right. Anyway, let's look at some live charts. Apple coming in with some monster numbers here. Yeah, about a $2 billion beat, in line with like what Amazon did, right? And just right back up where they were. Took a big dip, took a big pop. Dip on FOMC, pop right back up. A breakout can take us higher. That could have been all the retrace we needed. I don't know. Hovering right at, I bought a 170 call, hovering right there. Maybe my call will turn into money. I don't know. May just lose it all. Moving on, S&P 500, we should pop back up to a daily. We poked out below the consolidation, but right into the lows that we had just a few days back on April 26th, a week and a half ago. This is probably going to open back up higher based on the fact that we're getting that overnight rally. Back up into the box can take us out. That can be, maybe we needed a double test of that resistance from back here that has turned support now. Double test of that can lead us to moving on up. In Q, like I said, did that 618 retrace right here. Is a beautiful, pull this up, beautiful little 5-wave up on the hourly. It was a 3-wave retrace on that hourly. Doesn't look like that on the daily, but it doesn't have to. It's an hourly type move. That target puts us right up to the top on this next move. That target is right there, right in that zone for that next move higher based on that setup on NQ. We are set for that move right there. And how fast can it happen? It can happen in a couple days. So it doesn't have to be slow. It can be extremely fast, like wicked fast. So just keep it in mind. We can rip out, and NQ is like QQQ if you're unfamiliar. ES, S&P 500, that's SPY. If you're trying to find the ETF, any of those like SPXL, SPXS, all those derivatives of S&P 500, right there. NQ, TQQQ, SQQQ, all those QQQ type derivatives all come off of the futures for NASDAQ. And then Russell right here. I was cautious, but we're popping right back up into the box this morning. That can go on a rip right back to the top of the box. Same conditions apply. I'm still nervous that we may see that extension lower. Held a higher low at this point, but it's kind of likely that we might see a continuation lower. Please be careful on Russell small caps. That's IWM if you're unfamiliar. Dollar retested low, well, kind of holding a marginal higher low here, but still looks highly likely we're going to get that drop out into the 90s on the dollar. Rolling on down to Apple. It seemed somewhat likely that we could see, I got some drawings in here I gotta get rid of here. Looks like, and doesn't seem that even with new batteries that my keyboard is going to cooperate. So Apple had a setup that could have reacted negatively on earnings, but it looks like this trend line is holding. We're going to pop up, make a new higher high. That little extension that we've seen a couple times now. Oop, grabbing the wrong thing. See, we've done that same thing once, twice, almost 3 times in a row. So that next extension probably take us up to about 74, and then we may see a pullback again. Let's see, we've done that same pullback a number of times. That would be my expectation. We just keep doing that little extension, pullback, extension, pullback, extension, pullback, extension, pullback, extension, pullback, extension, pullback, until we get up to the next resistance level. The next resistance at that high, 175. Then the one above that, 179. And the one above that, 183. And above that, we can probably extend out to the $200 or the 199, 199. I think we're going to miss 200, but just a shade. So, morning, Kimberly. Morning, David. Morning. That's what we got on Apple right now. Just chugging on the echo pattern, going higher. Coin showing a little bit of support here after making the lower low. I don't know. That chart does not look good. It's messy, sloppy, and gnarly right now. That's the best description I have for it. Until we get back above about 72, we could just keep chopping and sideways. That's why there's a giant blue arrow going to the side that way. I got my arrow right now. Yeah, going that way. Point opposite the way it looks on the screen for me. So, all right. Ridiculous. I like money, and that's not one to be chasing right now to making money. DKNG, nice pop. Losing money like a banshee, but beating on the top, beating on the bottom. That's not really much of a beat on the top, but positive outlook. Apparently, people love to gamble. Imagine that. That's why we're all in this, right? We love to. Yeah, I like money too. Yeah. That comes from idiocracy. So, right there, DKNG, sports betting, I guess. I told somebody I was into financial entertainment online, and they said, "Oh, you're a sports bettor." I was like, "No, I talk about the stock market." It was a big letdown for them. They're like, "That's not entertainment." And I was like, well, it just depends on what you're into. So, lift looks like it's going down the toilet. Beating on the top, beating on the bottom, but apparently their outlook is not like Uber's. Yeah, you got Uber. I'll put new batteries in this thing. Make me aggravated. Uber. Apparently it's not the batteries. It's the reception, but through the table, I guess, where the computer's sitting underneath there. Uber, a little pullback and probably going to get extensions out. So this thing looks bullish, whereas Lyft looks pretty bad. Like, that's like going out of business bad. Be careful on that one. I wouldn't try to chase Lyft based on Uber. Square, Block, whatever the frick they want to call themselves these days. Beating on the top, beating on the bottom, making money. This actually looks pretty good. Like, these are really good numbers. Reaction, just ever since that Hindenburg report, just not been great at performance out of Square. Holding this area and breaking out above this high that it made on that last bounce when Jack Dorsey opened his mouth. That can be bullish, but we're not there yet, and not. I don't know. Targets down below us, 40, then 30, then 20. Kind of stair-stepping down. Be careful. We can break down and make those lower lows. It's certainly not looking like shop. Yesterday, booked a 15,000% winner, and looks like it's going to go on our tear. Right up to the target, so I closed it. And, yeah. And you heard me right. That was a 15,000% gain. I did what's called a synthetic stock, which had all. I think I got a credit on it actually, and then closed it for like $15. So in it, almost zero, and closed at $15. That's why it was a ridiculous percent gain. But hey, I'll take it any day. I think Sledge, you got in on that one too. So I know several people made a little money on Shop. Looking like we're gonna go higher. Really beautiful. Probably do a little bit of retrace based on getting to this resistance, and then that's another opportunity to ride it up for the next move. up to in the 70s. So, all right. Warner Brothers Discovery, looking pretty horrible. Not sure what their plans are. They started putting content that I was like, on Discovery Channel, I was like, okay, Discovery Channel, I've watched it most of my life. And it's usually based on mostly factual kind of stuff. You know, maybe a little bit of like Mythbusters was, you know, kind of fun. And most of the stuff on there, pretty factual, pretty documentary kind of ish type content, you know. But they started putting on complete fiction content. And I was like, this makes no sense. That's losing their way. And if they continue down that path, probably going to do this. That's just a high level view. That's bouncing off the roadmap line. An extension lower would be something like this technically. And right there would be the extension down to 6. Not sure buying HGTV and all their assets was the smart thing to do. At least it sure doesn't look that way on their stock chart. Ouch. Fubo also looking pretty horrible. Down to $1. Not far to go broke. They were supposed to have earnings today, but not showing up yet. Looks like no reaction hardly. Maybe 30 cents. I guess that's a positive reaction, but 26%. Whoo, on $1. Carvana, another one that looks absolutely horrible. Probably gonna go broke. Beat on earnings, but we lost less money than we expected to, and did worse than we expected to on revenue. So again, horrible. Fortinet, however you say that, still stuck in the zone here. Looks like a roadmap line, bounce potential, and then we could break out, possibly, maybe. That could be a reversal up out of here. I wouldn't put my money on it yet. AMC, it's been nothing but a down after that GME pop. The hype train pop back here in 2021. Just been a slow grind to zero. They can go out of business. Be careful. There's an indication if we get over 8, we could pop again. But, I mean, look, each one of these pops has been less enthusiastic as we've gone down through here. So, I'm not expecting a lot out of AMC. NRGL. Looks like that one's going in the toilet, even though it's oil. Oil kind of showing a little bit of potential whole reversal down here. It spiked down to the 100%, made a lower low, and then right back up. It's going to have to get back above like 76 for me to be interested. You could jump it early, but this thing can still roll on down, hit the extension down at 59. Please be careful. Please be careful. Decent move on Z. Yeah, we can pull up Z. Yeah, nice pop. Earnings were a beat on Wednesday. Oh, look, there's my alert. You're just ahead of it, Sledge. There's my potential entry on Z right there. Looking for 52 on the upside. And market is open, so I'm probably about to get a whole bunch of alerts. Bill popping up, still below the roadmap line. Be careful on that one. It's got to break up. It's got to get on the upside above the roadmap line to go higher. 5.9 looks pretty horrible. Looks like it's going lower. Cigna. There's my alert coming through on my phone. And Cigna still looking pretty horrible. Healthcare just not pulling it out yet. Apps, Apple, whatever that is. Pharmaceutical. Be careful. That's probably going to retrace at some point. That's getting extended. Looking at this. Yeah, we're up here in no man's land. 105 would be my extension target probably. Check that one too. Yeah, something like 105. It's going to be getting extended. Probably going to retrace. Probably going to come back to the roadmap line before long. Yeah, there was a big list this morning. EXPE, nice pop. Still looks pretty horrible. Even though travel, I saw a headline last night. New York City airports had the most traffic ever in Q1 this year. Pretty wild. Sounds like a recovery to me. It doesn't sound like we're heading into a recession. And Wall still looks pretty horrible. Team looks pretty horrible. EPAM going for the extension lower. How low can she go? Way on down is how low she can go. Look at this. If we don't hold in that 232 area, that means we are setting up for 90. Ouch. TRUP, no idea what that is. Looks like losing money, losing twice as much money as they predicted, and getting punished for it. Can't lose money in this environment. CLFD, getting punished. Beating on the top, beating on the bottom, but obviously not pleasing everybody with their telecom equipment. Microchip, also getting slammed a bit. That looks rough. That's like a diagonal up. We can get a deep retrace before we can go higher. AMD retracing a bit off of the Microsoft news pop from yesterday. Still holding the roadmap line. This would be an entry on the next breakout higher, an aggressive entry on that breakout of those highs yesterday and the day before, those highs. Break out of that, aggressive entry. More conservative on the break above here. Still maintaining my 110 target area right up here. 107 on the light side, 113 on the upside, and kind of 110 ideally in the middle. 107 more likely to be hit. Obviously, it's lower. So keep it in mind if you chase after AMD. I did go long some calls on a pattern that I watched that I'm kind of working on in the background. I'll let you know more in the future here. So bias for the day, kind of on the upside actually. Looks pretty positive. Looks like we're going to go right back up into the box. More than likely. That was just a repeat of what we did last week. Right back up in there. That's kind of what I expect today. I don't expect much extension breakout today. Maybe next week. Just probably not going to happen this week. All right. If you want to keep up with the narrative in Discord, links in the description. Oh, one thing before we go. I have court on Monday. Not sure I can do the morning monster at the normal time. Would you prefer earlier or later? Let me know in the chat or in the comments. If you're watching this after the live, let me know what you think. If I should do it early or if I should go later in the day after court. Love to hear your opinion. Love to hear your vote. So you guys are why I do this. I don't just do it for my own health. So please let me know if you prefer a later or an earlier. And I'll see what I can do. I'm going to be in the court about 10:30, so conflicts with getting this done. So thanks, everybody. I will see you on Monday. Thanks for watching.